Hey, Tina Ree here, reporting for duty on a trigger. Thank you for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit with me and steering clear of danger. Heartily, we are grateful. In this session, I am so excited. We are going to talk about totem. Totem is so much fun. And totem, you, of course, like the other suits, you're going to take it and make your own. And totem is inspired by the indigenous tribes. In my adoptive family, we take our family reunions near a Native American reservation, and so all around the area, growing up, each time we visited each year, it wasn't every year that we got to go, but when we did, I just was inspired by the art and the people that I saw around and the nature and the totem. So in part, that's part of how this suit was inspired. And so you're going to want to have a piece of paper and a pencil, and then eventually you'll transfer these onto cards of your own. And this totem is going to help give you guardrails and ground you in Eastern and Western philosophy, and hopefully provide you with some ease and grace and wisdom to help you keep on the path as you overcome your loss and trauma, as you play through the loss and trauma to live the life you want to live. So there's 3 parts of the totem, and each part has 7 pieces. So you can prepare yourself for these notes. And the first piece that seems really relevant to mention is the spans of life. And I was reminded about the spans of life from a beloved friend's nursing book. She was going to nursing school and was taking a class on human growth and development. And I was assisting her, and I got to dig into that nursing book. It was really, really exciting. I just really enjoy stuff like that. And so the human growth and development, the spans of life, I was reminded that there's 7 spans of life. And you may know this, and maybe you say, no, there's 8, maybe no, there's 6. Do what resonates for you. This is just a sketchy outline for you to make your own. So here's the spans of life. There's baby toddler, that's 1. There's play years, that's 2. There's school years, that's 3. There's adolescence, that's 4. And then there's young adult, middle adult, late adult. And that's the 7th. That's 1 part of the totem. And so that's pretty straightforward. But I'd like to suss out adolescence and then adulthood, because I sense that those get the shaft a lot of the times. So for adolescence, let's just say that goes from teenage years through 25. So 13 to 25. And maybe you go a little bit earlier, maybe you go a little bit longer, because every person is different. But I think it's extremely, I'm getting goosebumps. I think it's extremely important to, the ancestors are here. That's my sign for the ancestors are here. One of my paternal ancestors is here affirming this. So many of our ancestors have passed before they even got to adulthood, and so many of our elders have been pulled into adulthood before their time. And so that's why it seems especially relevant for me to mention this, especially when we've all suffered loss and trauma, and especially when loss and trauma delays our development. It's not so fair to call us an adult at 18 in those cases, which is all of us. It's not so fair to call us an adult. And I don't mean to take away from how much we have developed but by that time, but to give us more time to heal from our losses and traumas, instead of pushing on us this notion that we should have it all figured out by the time we're 18. No, not at all. So flexing out adolescence from 13 to 25, or 11, 12 to 27, giving a broad space for adolescence just allows a lot of grace for us to do the work that we need to do, instead of beating ourselves up thinking, oh, I should have had it by now. Which reminds me, should. This is one of those cards you put in pencil, because that is one of the most guilt-inducing low vibe words that we can use, that really puts us in a state of despair and anxiety and stress. So if you can, I know this is a sidebar in the totem section, but if you can, choose other words besides should. That will benefit your play tremendously. So that means, no more, you should have heard me the first time, or you should know better. No. We don't get to say that anymore. And that's positive news. So now the other piece about this is adulthood. So if adolescence goes through the 20s, then young adulthood, middle adulthood, and late adulthood, they're extended longer. You can't see my hand, but it's going out into another timeline. Did you hear the blue jay? He's affirming for all those adults out there that, wow, we really have a beautiful span of life in which to play. So yeah, you can check for yourself. You can do your own research and dig into a little bit more about what feels correct for you as far as young adult, middle adult, late adult. I am 51 and I'm feeling pretty okay that I'm middle age, but I have heard many people my age calling themselves old, and I have to disagree. Especially with the length that people live these days, and with the length that people have lived in the past. We've seen people live into ripe ages, right? So, anyways, the span of life just allows us more grace to do the growing and evolving that we need to do, and to help us recover. It gives us more time to recover from the losses and traumas, because it takes time. What we have experienced, the loss and traumas that we have experienced. Oops, my camera's switching. Sorry about that. They're so sensitive. Sometimes it takes more time than others to heal, and so adjusting the adolescence period of life really allows some grace for that, and then extending the adulthood allows us even more grace and ease to help play through the loss and trauma to live the life we want to live. All right, so that's pretty central. Like, we all live through time, even though some would say, there's these different timelines and we're switching timelines. That's all very interesting. Oh my God. If you feel like you could dig into that more, do, because it's just fascinating. But that is one part of the totem. Two other pieces kind of help us balance the east and the west. So one is your chakras. I don't know why I'm over here, I just am. And the other is your Western intelligences, your multiple intelligences. So your chakras, you can research on your own in all sorts of different places to figure out what those are. And I am going to share them in the Sanskrit word, and then you can figure out the English translations in your own time and figure out all the associations in your own time. And that's one of the things that's so fascinating about chakras, is that each chakra, each energy system, like there's an energy system right here called the ajna, it's your third eye. And this has different scents that are associated with it, like smells that are associated with it. It has a color that's associated with it. It's like an indigo blue. It has different words that are associated with it, like your wisdom. It has different plants that are associated with it. There's a butterfly flitting around up there. So when you dig more into the chakras, it's not just that it's, oh, this energy system here. There's all these different ways to help heal that, or to heal the energy system here, or to heal the heart energy system. When you really dig into it, that's quite fascinating. Like, I'm just thinking the scents that I love, the aromatherapy that goes with each chakra, or the crystal energy healing that goes with each chakra. So that really helps me and resonates with me and helps me play through my losses. And okay, so those 7 chakras, and there's more than 7, but the 7 basic within your body. And of course, once you get that down, you can learn the others that are kind of outside of your body, or in your hands, or in your feet. There's some in every joint. It's fascinating. It's fascinating, the human body. So your root chakra, your Muladhara, it's kind of at the base of your spine, but quadruple check. Do your own research so you can see for yourself, and maybe you actually look at pictures and print out data to help you wrap your head around these. So the Muladhara, the root chakra, it's at the base of your spine. And then the sacral chakra, the Visuddha chakra, is your sexual organs, your ovaries or your testes, that area. And that color associated with that is orange. The color associated with your root chakra is red. Then there is your Manipura chakra. It's your jewel, it's your belly. It's like your gut. It's where you feel your intuition shines like the sun. Your Anahata chakra, your heart chakra. Color associated with that is green, a beautiful green. Then there's your Visuddha chakra. This is where you seek and share your truth. And if you're not able to do that, then you might become secret and hidden and alone in your knowledge, instead of bringing that out into the ether plane. And the color associated with that is turquoise. Then I said already your Ajna chakra, your third eye chakra. And then there is your crown chakra, and that is purple, and that is your Sahasrara. It could be silver. Like I said, please research on your own to quadruple check and see what resonates with you, because there's slightly different variations and colors associated with these, and you want to make sure that you're adapting it so it's suiting you. Not to say you're going to change the chakras, like, oh, all of a sudden this becomes the throat chakra. No, this is your throat chakra. And the more research you do, you can see there's a front and the back and different ways to heal, and it's just fascinating. So that's the eastern part of your totem. And just another way to help play through the losses and traumas, and to really enhance all your success and joy. And then the Western intelligences, the multiple intelligences, you can look up Howard Gardner. Howard Gardner is 20th century, 1900s. Educational theorist. I'm trying to think, is he still alive? Please forgive me, Howard Gardner. God bless it. So he came up with this theory about multiple intelligences. So maybe you're familiar, like, with learning styles. Like, maybe you've been told, oh, you're a visual learner, or oh, you're an auditory learner. And I would challenge you to say, no, you're all of all of these different things, and some are just stronger than others, and you can flex all of them for life and just bring them all up to speed the way you want. So we're going to go through those 7 multiple intelligences, and again, quadruple check. Some would say there's 8, some would say there's less. So you're going to look for yourself and again, see what resonates with you and configure that into your cards. Make a card for each one. I don't know why, maybe I'm stacking them up. So you have your musical naturalist intelligence, which develops first. And when you do your research, you may find activities that you can do to help these intelligences, to develop them, to maintain them. So for example, your musical naturalist, maybe one thing you do is to play an instrument or take a walk in nature. All right, so you get the idea. So you could do a card that says musical naturalist and what that means, and then on the back side of that you can have a list of activities that you can do to help develop that, and you can find that online. Musical naturalist is the first to develop, right? Because in your mother's womb there's nature and there's music all around you. It's so beautiful. Another intelligence is your bodily kinesthetic. And again, look these up so you can see how to spell and make it fit for you. Another intelligence is your linguistic and verbal intelligence. And I'm giving you 2 words. One's a little more linguistic, the other's a little more verbal, if you know what I mean. So verbal linguistic is another intelligence. Logical rational is another intelligence. And existential is another. And then interpersonal, intrapersonal is another. So let's see, we have musical naturalist, body kinesthetic, logical rational, verbal linguistic, existential, interpersonal, intrapersonal. So interpersonal, intrapersonal, that's the intelligence within yourself, and then the intelligence between you and somebody else. And I think that's it. So you can quadruple check me, please. Everything I say, quadruple check. Use your discernment, figure out what suits you and what resonates with you and how you're going to put those onto your cards. And again, I would suggest writing the definition on one side, simple, and on the other side, different activities you can do to help develop that. And again, you can find that online for the Western intelligences, for the multiple intelligences. And for the chakras, for the Eastern intelligences, the same thing. What the chakra means, and then the different colors associated with it, the different scents, the different crystals, the different plants. So you can really have fun with living the life you want to live, and also have fun with overcoming the loss and trauma, because that's not so fun, but wow, it's there, so might as well try to make it fun. And so this is a way to do that, is to work with your totem cards. Let's see if there's anything else I've forgotten there. I'm going to add in here, because I forgot to mention it in the safety meeting, but so you might consider this a safety card more than a totem card, but it sort of fits. Another card you could add to your Stacked for Life deck of cards is your variation of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So again, you're going to research on your own. You're going to look up different images for Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And Maslow is MASLOW, MASLOW, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And you're going to see images of pyramids and different things written in each section of the pyramid. And the top, I'll just give you the short story, is self-actualization. And the bottom are your basic needs, like food, shelter, right? This is a safety card. This is a big safety card. And one of the important things really relevant about these basic needs is that your need to know, your need to learn is pretty high up the pyramid. So that means if you're not getting the basic needs met, like your food, your shelter, your love, your belonging, you're not going to want to learn your math facts or your history facts. And so this may be really relevant for parents or teachers out there who are watching this, to understand more why your students or children aren't getting it, because you got to go back down to some basic level needs that they need, and it may be different than yours, and so you may have to cut yourself some slack for missing a beat, and forgive yourself, and also forgive them, you know. So we make sure everybody moves ahead, and that nobody's left behind. We don't want to leave anybody behind. Yeah, so that's quite fascinating about the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The need to know is higher up the pyramid. So if you're not having those basic needs met, then you don't need to know your history. It doesn't really matter. And, you know, I'm going to let that settle with you a little bit, and you're going to nestle into that and maybe just see more and more, oh my God, that's why that person wasn't getting it. That's why that person wasn't getting it. That's why I wasn't getting it, because I had these basic level needs I needed to cover and take care of. So I apologize for not having that in the safety meeting, but it's here. You're getting it, you got it, and you get the idea, like, take these suits and make them your own. And any ideas or suggestions you have, you want to share, leave it in the chat. I would appreciate it. It would be wonderful to hear what you're doing and see how you're adapting it to make it work for you. And yeah, so that's your totem. Your chakras, your multiple intelligences, and the spans of life that you live. The 3 different sections, 7 cards for each. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today and breathing life into adoption spirit. Heartily, I am grateful. Until next time, ciao bellas, ciao bellos. I love you all.